Okay, we'll start with seventh program. Seventh program is triangle problem, same conditions, but only test case is different. That is, we have to write decision table now. Okay, you all know triangle program, right? We have to give three sides of the triangle as input A, B, C. Boundary is, they have not given the boundary, we have assumed it to be 10, between 0 to 10 we have to give. So you have to write the requirement first. Depending upon the values what you have given for A, B, C, triangle can be formed, that is equilateral, isosceles or scalene. If all three sides of the triangle are equal, it is shown here, you can see. If all three sides are equal, then it is equilateral. Two sides are equal means isosceles. All three sides are different means it will form scalene triangle. That is the condition. So before checking what type of triangle it is, first you have to check whether triangle can be formed or not. That is this condition. If two sides of the triangle, when you add two sides of the triangle, if the value is greater than the third side, then triangle can be formed. That is, you have three sides A, B and C. A plus B should be greater than C. If you take A plus C, it should be greater than B. You take B plus C, it should be greater than A. So you have to check all three conditions. If all three conditions become true, then you can form the triangle. After forming the triangle, we can check what type of triangle can be formed. Understood? That is triangle program. You already know what triangle program is. We'll directly go for the decision table approach. How to write decision table. So as you can see, decision table, in decision table there are four parts. Okay, basically there are two parts, that is stub portion, that is left side part. This much is called as stub. Okay, this much, this box what you can see, this is called as entry portion. Okay, left side portion we will have two parts in it. The first part is condition, this much is only condition. Below that we'll write action. So next to condition what you enter, that is called as condition entry. This is condition entry. Right side we have action entry. Understood? So basically four parts. I'll repeat again. This condition C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, C6. This much is known as condition stub because it is on the left side. So left side portion is called as stub. Since we are writing the condition, we call it as condition stub. Then below that we have action. So this is action stub. Stub because it is on the left side of the table. It is called as stub, action stub. Okay. Then right side, here we have written condition entry. Okay, then below that is action entry. So four parts of the table. Understood? So on the condition side, here you have to write how many conditions are there in the program. All the conditions you have to write. Conditions such as, we are checking whether triangle can be formed. That is one of the conditions. So A plus B greater than C, A plus C greater than B, B plus C greater than A. Then if A equal to B, B equal to C, A equal to C, all these are conditions. Okay, all these conditions I am going to put it under the condition stub. Clear? All the conditions which are given in the program should be written under condition. Then for that condition, what action I am going to take? Okay, so that is written in the action part. That is action what I am going to write. Triangle cannot be formed. That is when those three C1, C2, C3 fails, triangle cannot be formed. That is one of the action for the condition. So that you have to write. If all the three condition passes, what kind of triangle it is going to be formed? That is scalene, isosceles, equilateral. Those three. Then triangle cannot be formed itself. Impossible condition. This much you have to write. Understood? For particular conditions, what action is going to be taken place depending upon the program. Okay. So here, while writing the condition entry, we have to write for trial and error basis. So see here. So R1, R2, R3, those are all the possibilities. So if this condition C1 condition, you see C1 condition, if B plus C greater than A, if that itself fails, if that fails and everything else is true, from R2 to R11, everything is true, but only R1 is failed, then what happens? You cannot form the triangle. That is why you have to mark here. Understood? Are you getting it? Okay, then that is first type of checking. Second will come for the second rule. So if R2 is true, okay, but this condition in C2, this condition fails. B plus A plus C greater than B, that condition fails. Then again triangle cannot be formed. Again in R3, see R3, rule 3, R stands for rule, okay. In R3, B plus C greater than A is true, okay. This is true. This is true. This condition is true. This condition is true, this condition is true, but third condition false. Again, triangle cannot be formed. That is rule 3. Again, for rule 4, we are checking. All three conditions are true. First three conditions C1, C2, C3 are true. That means triangle can be formed. If triangle can be formed, then you have to determine what kind of triangle it is. So you will check A plus C is greater than A equal to C and B equal to C. But A is not equal to B. That is not possible at all. So you have to mark impossible. Like this, you have to check for all the conditions. You have to check for all the conditions. Okay. You can write as many rules as you want. So minimum you write 8 to 10 rules. You have to do trial and error basis. First, what you do? First, rule 1, condition 1. You make it false. If it is false, what action is going to take place? Then in rule 2, condition 1 is true, but condition 2 is false. What action? In rule 3, condition 1 and 2 are true, 3 is false. What action will take place? Again, in rule 4, condition 1, 2, 3 are true, then condition 4 becomes false. What action is going to take place? Same way you have to write. Same way you have to write for everything. Next, we will see rule 6 now. In rule 6, condition 1, 2, 3, that is all three are true, then A equal to B is true, but A equal to C is false, B equal to C is false. What it will form? It will form isosceles triangle. Sorry, triangle cannot be formed because one side of the triangle is equal, other two sides are unequal, means that is not a possibility. So triangle cannot be formed. You have to write like that. We'll see rule 11, R11 you see. Condition 1, 2, 3 are true. That means triangle can be formed. Triangle equality theorem is proved. Then A equal to B, A equal to C, B equal to C. All are true. That means all the sides of the triangle are true. Then action that is going to be taken place is here, equilateral triangle. So like this you have to do trial and error basis, and for that particular rule or for those condition, what actions are going to be executed, that much you have to write. That is decision table, that's all. Depending upon the conditions, depending upon the rules, what decision the program is going to take, what action is going to be executed, that much you have to write. That is decision table testing. That's all. That's all there is about decision table. So same way we will see next program. And test cases you have to write. After writing the decision table, you write the test case description. In test case description, write testing for requirement 1 like that. ABC you give the value. Your triangle cannot be formed. Triangle not a triangle, isosceles triangle, impossible. Then out of range. Everything you can write. Status also you have to write. Test case summary you have to write. This test case specification as it is you have to write for all the program, because they have asked you decision table testing. This table you have to write compulsorily. What I am showing on the screen, that table you have to write compulsorily. Understood? Remaining this table as it is you have to write for all the program. That is test case ID, input ABC, expected output, then status you have to write as it is. At last you have to write test case summary. Decision table you have to write. I think this is done in the theory, right? Decision table I have already done in the theory. You already know how to write it. I'm just showing you again. Okay, we'll go for next program now. Next program is 8th program. We have to solve the commission problem again, depending upon decision table testing. Commission problem, same test problem definition you have to write. There is a salesman who is going to sell lock, stock and barrel. What is the price? That is 45, 30, 45 and $25. Then for $1,000 there is 10% commission. Next up from 1,000 to 1,800, for next $800 there is 15% commission. Remaining there is 20% commission that you have to write. After writing, you write the program, calculate the commission. Then for this also you have to write decision table. See here, decision table again you have 4 parts. This is condition stub. Below condition stub you have action stub, condition entry and action entry you have. 4 parts you have. Okay. Okay. After this, you have to write the conditions. What conditions you have got? Regular boundary conditions you have to write. That is, number of locks that are going to be manufactured are between 1 and 70. Number of stocks that are going to be manufactured are between 1 and 80, which is shown here. Number of barrels that are going to be manufactured are between 1 and 90. These 3 conditions, C1, C2, C3, you have to write 3 conditions. Then you have to check how much commission you're going to give. If sale is above 1000, what you're going to give. If sale is above 1800, how much commission you're going to give. If sale is below 1000, what commission you're going to give. So totally there are 6 conditions for this program. Okay. Then you have to write the action. Action are depending upon the condition. Depending if that condition is true, what action the program is going to take or what action the program is going to execute, that you have to write. So if the sale is less than or equal to 1000, then action A1 is going to be executed. That is 10% of the calculated sales commission is going to be given. That is 10%. Next, if it is greater than 1000, then what you have to do? Greater than 1000 up to 1800. If condition C5 is executed, then A2 action is going to be taken place. That is, for first $1000 you are going to give 10% commission. Then you are going to give remaining $800, you will give 15% commission. Then if your sales or if you have sold above $1800, that is if C4 condition is true, then action A3 is going to be taken place. That is, for first $1800 you are going to give 15% commission, then remaining above 1800 you are going to give 20% commission. That is going to taken place. Then if none of these conditions are executed, then it will show out of range. That is, if it is not between, if your locks is not between 1 and 70, if it is not between 1 and 80, if it is not between 1 and 90, either of these condition becomes true, false, either of these condition become false, then you have to write out of range value. That's all. If you do this much and write the decision table, even if you write decision table, you have to write the test cases. Test cases are written as it is, like this. You have to write test case ID, test case description. You have to write the locks, you have to write the stock, and you have to write the barrel. What is the expected output? If it is out of range, you write expected output as out of range. If it is not out of range, if you can calculate the commission, calculate it and write how much commission is gotten. After that, you write the status of the test case, that is pass or fail. After writing everything, you have to write test case summary, that is number of test cases executed, number of test cases passed, and number of test cases failed. This much you have to write. Understood? You have any doubts? You have any doubts? Can you write the decision table? No?